Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? How has the month of November been taking you? So, thank you for continuing to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are growing very fast and I like it. Continue subscribing. We say that the goal is by the end of the year, we reach 10,000 subscribers, and I know that we can do it. So, if you're watching this video, you've not subscribed, welcome to my YouTube channel. Subscribe. How many times have I said that? Yeah, so subscribe. If you're new here, also, my content is majorly based on HIV matters. Sometimes I digress a little bit, but it's more about HIV. So today I want to talk about why more women are living with HIV than men. So a few weeks back on Facebook, this guy makes a comment and says, more women are living with HIV than men. Why? Is it a women disease? So is HIV a women disease? That is the question I am posing to you this whatever time of the day you're watching this. So that is this day rather. Is HIV a women only disease? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of reasons why more women are living with HIV than men are. Reason one is because women have to get tested for HIV. It is a must. A lot of women have actually come up and said, no, we don't want to get tested. No, it is not right for a woman to actually get tested because they have to, but then they have to because every woman who is pregnant and carrying life has to get tested. That is the WHO standard that was issued, and they have to do it. Like, they don't have a choice. Okay, they do not have a choice. So if you are pregnant, you must get tested so that we reduce the infections of mother to child. So for this reason, men don't get tested, but the partners do. Unless this is a man who has sense and decides, hey, I am taking my wife to the hospital, they get tested together, and that happens very rarely. Most of the time, men actually wait for their wives to get tested so that they can conclude that, hey, now I am HIV free, or now I am HIV positive. If the wife turns out positive, they actually panic, and some of them end up leaving the marriages or the unions or the relationship because they feel that they have also been exposed to HIV and they are also living with HIV, and for that reason they actually don't like getting tested. So more men, and actually I think the number of men to women living with HIV is almost equal. The only problem is men don't like getting tested. Men don't want to know their HIV status. Men just are not open to going to a VCT and saying, hey, take my blood sample, let's see if I am actually living with HIV. So what happens in this case? Women have to get tested because, hey, they're pregnant. Women, the way we are created, our anatomy, the way we are actually created, we are created in a way that we are more prone to getting HIV, to being infected with HIV than men are, okay? Because at the end of the day, sex happens in a man, not in a woman. Sex happens in a woman, not in a man. I said it vice versa, so, okay? Sex happens in the woman, not in the man, which means the woman is more prone to getting the infection more than the man is, okay? And our immune system, we go through so much hormonal changes from time to time. Still a risk factor to the woman, okay? So women are more at risk of getting infected with HIV than the men are. That is why I always feel very sad that it is hard that there is no protection or form of protection for women specifically. Yes, there is the female condom, but it's a little bit very cumbersome. It is hard to wear. It is expensive. It literally goes against every other choice that women would make if they wanted to actually have protected sex. You see, another thing, women are not as economically stable as men. When I say that, I don't mean that there are no rich women or women who are financially independent and all that. No, there are women who are living their best lives and doing all the boss moves. But you find that for a woman to make it, sometimes people even say, which sponsor does she have? Who did she sleep with? It's so hard. Like, women are always equated to a form of sex, like they did have sex with someone and then they climbed up the ladder. And especially for women who come from a region such as the lakeside region, where they say that there is fish for sex, where a fisherman will give you sex, will give you fish, you give them sex. That is a transactional sex. A lot of transactional sex affects women. Why? Because it is the woman who actually is receiving the money, is receiving the gifts, is receiving the work promotion, and what happens instead? This man has put them in a state where they have to compromise their health status. So what do? They tell you, I'm not going to use the condom, but I am going to give you this promotion. How does the title CEO sound in your ears? And the woman is like, okay, fine. They're qualified. They probably have like 3 PhDs, but they are still being equated to the fact that what can they offer? And transactional sex, I think, is one of the highest risk factors as to why more women are living with HIV than men. Not because they want to live with HIV, but because, hey, they are put in a state where they have to compromise. These are women from social economic backgrounds that are so hard, so difficult. We have seen young girls sleeping with men to get sanitary towels. We have seen young women sleeping with men to get food on their tables. We have seen young women sleep with men just to get the next meal on their table. So if a man like that comes to them and tells them, hey, I am giving you 10,000 shillings, this girl is not looking at the health factors that come with this whole 10,000. No, she is looking at the fact that it is 10,000, we shall pay rent, we shall do this and that. And that is the reason why most of these teenage girls, the 15 to 24 age bracket, has more women or young girls who are living with HIV than men. Why? Because of so much transactional sex. Okay, these girls are so exposed, and the sad part is you can't really test a person's HIV status by looking at them. So they look at this healthy man with a kitambi or something, or this healthy man who is a boda rider, or this young healthy village guy who is the fisherman of the village, if that exists. But especially with the fishing folk, it has been an issue about the fish for sex thing. It is a thing. People have tried to actually address it, but for some reason it still happens. So socio-economic background of women actually affects them and exposes them to HIV more than their male counterparts. Another issue is men don't like getting tested. Like, even by the time the self-test kit was being launched and created, because I was there at the launch, they said we are actually creating this. Our target market, our highest target market is the men. Because men don't want to get tested at all. Like, I don't know, dear men, why don't you want to get tested? Like, why don't you want to know your HIV status? Why don't you want to know what is going on in your health? And some men are very, very careless. And I am sorry to call you this, but some men are very careless. They just want to sleep with every other moving human being. As long as this person looks good, as long as this person attracts you, all you keep asking these people is, when you don't trust me. It is not an issue of trust. It is an issue of, do you know their health status? And these are the same people who come to me and they're panicking and telling me, Doreen, I slept with this person. She did not tell me that she was living with HIV. And I'm like, what measures did you take? By the way, guys, HIV is very preventable. The only thing is we refuse to use the prevention measures that have actually been made available to us. So for that reason, we are like, men are just becoming more and more careless because they're looking at the person. Let me tell you, let us move away from the mentality of people who are living with HIV are thin and sad and they don't have hair and they're about to die tomorrow. That is a very long gone narrative. Let us move to the fact that nowadays people living with HIV are on ARVs. Their quality of life is reassured, and for that reason they are now looking healthy and very beautiful. And the people, when you meet them on the road, they are actually going to confuse your brain. So you're definitely going to ask them, when you don't trust me, but actually, do you trust them? So stop this thing of, I have never done this with any other woman before, I just want to know. Please, Don't test people with your eyes. There is no laboratory in your eyes. Go and get tested. Know the status of the person who you're about to have sex with. And if you don't, then use a condom. Protect yourself, because we have condoms, we have PrEP, we have people who are on treatment. So you don't even know, because at this point, if it's a one-night stand, how will you know this person is on treatment? Probably you won't. So use a condom, because condoms, I think, they're the most available form of protection. I hope that at some point they're going to make PrEP very available, including in the chemists. So I am praying that that is going to happen soon. But before it happens, can we just normalize using condoms? Can we normalize having protected sex? Because then our infection rates are going to go down. The other day I was having a chat with a person from Ghana, and he was telling me that there are only 150,000 people living with HIV in Ghana, when in Kenya that is just our prevalence rate for a year. That is a very sad state of numbers, actually. It's time we actually just realize that HIV is not a death sentence, yes, but it's also very preventable, because it's also not funny taking medication for the rest of your life. So prevent yourself and know your HIV status. It's something very doable. It's something we can actually do. So know your HIV status, know the HIV status of your partner. Use protection at all times. If you have more than one sexual partner and you decide, you know what, I'm not using protection for whatever reason it is, then actually take PrEP. Okay? Go to the clinic, tell them, hey, I am in 5 stable relationships and I am having unprotected sex with all of them. Can I use PrEP? Because yes, I can teach you how to prevent HIV. But then again, if you take PrEP, remember that there are unplanned pregnancies. Remember that there are other STIs which are actually not HIV, and some of them have very severe consequences. Okay, so yes, for men it's harder for them to get infected. For men, because especially when it's a circumcised man, they have up to 60% chance of not getting infected, because voluntary male circumcision is actually a form of HIV prevention. But stop having random sex with every other person you meet just because they promised you something. I know when it comes to the socio-economic effect on women, it's something that we can talk about today, tomorrow, every day. The economic disparities between men and women will always be there. But can we at least try to empower and put the policies that we have in place? Because we have very nice policies in this country. The only problem comes in the implementation. The children who are coming from socially challenged backgrounds, they can get empowered in one way or another. They can be given sanitary pads. Those programs should be sustainable, because people go there, donate pads and go away, and then leave these kids again very vulnerable. After 2 months, the pads you've given them, or even a month, they've ended. And then what happens? These children still go back to the people who promised them 200 shillings to actually buy them pads. Because in Kilifi, that was the situation. These kids were being given sanitary towels for sex. And then it is a one-time thing. The sanitary towels come, the next month they're pregnant for the next 9 months. So can we please stop this? I know it might not reach every other person, but if you watch this video, ensure that you share it so that we can try to reduce, because HIV is a human being disease. It's not a disease for men or women. It is a disease for all of us. Okay? And get tested. Men, this is for you specifically. Stop testing yourself because your wife tested negative and it means you're negative. No, if your wife tested negative, go and test. Your HIV test is not your wife's HIV test. Okay? Test on your own. And if you're in a marriage, I don't even know why you're even not very unsure about your HIV status, because hey, you're supposed to be married and faithful. It's so simple. I really want us to go back to the ABC. The abstain, be faithful, or use a condom. Let us make it that simple. Abstain, be faithful, use a condom. Simple as that. Okay? So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let us meet next week on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.